Culture is power, history is knowledge. Always leave your thoughts and comments. Give it a like. Let's look up. I was always, you ever heard about Cesar Chavez being a communist or Cesar Chavez organizing money and keeping it? Well, Cesar Chavez being a communist. I mean, being a communist, people always say it's like, is it that bad because you don't believe in a private industry, that there should only be public and government? And communist, I guess, doesn't always have to mean dictatorship, but if there's no private, just public and government. It's a pretty interesting topic. That's what I was looking up, but there's something that I heard of before about how the FBI thought Cesar Chavez was only into labor organizing for the money, and he was being investigated. A Mexican-American icon leader, historic farm worker, was subject of hundreds of pages of the FBI correspondence throughout the 60s, speculating on his humanitarian rights and skepticism about him. The FBI released this years ago, a couple years back, dated from 65, identifying Cesar Chavez between 35 and 38 years old is when they followed him. This is communist infiltrations of national farm workers. So they did believe that he was a communist. The only information with Cesar Chavez is a communication date. Communist infiltration. So what is a communist? A communism country is like China or something, which means no private. One single person can't own a building or a company. It has to be public or government. It has to be a majority of people. Like, I don't know how many, like let's say 50 people have to own this building of the public, and then the government can own whatever they want, but there's no private industry. No one man can own 100,000 acres and have hella companies. That's why when you always look up stuff, it's like, well, is communism bad because they believe that one man should not be richer than the other, and everybody should live fair, and everybody should own public property equally. So, Cesar Chavez, though, the document also made note, this is him, also about him creating that credit union. I've talked about it before. It says he was from Filipinos and Mexican farm workers that he represented, as well as the fact that Dolores was a part of it. And Cesar Chavez movement had secured $267,887 dollars. The FBI, whose name has been suggested, that Chavez was not qualified to manage this large sum. This same source has also heard that Chavez has only attained a grammar school education, so they don't believe that he would have the brain knowledge to have that type of organization and creating a union, I guess, to be able to gather up that kind of money and be able to manage it himself. So he had help. You always heard about Cesar Chavez being, a patriot, American, so-called communist, him having a front line where supposedly Chicanos, Mexican Americans, would go to the borders and supposedly beat up Mexicans trying to cross the border. They would supposedly beat up the Mexicans that would come and take the Chicanos' jobs if they didn't want to join the farm workers. I mean, that's what supposedly happened. That's why some people say, Cesar Chavez is a hero. He's not a hero. It depends. Like, because you could get the agenda of like, yeah, he's telling them, hey, like I said, stop giving in to what they want. Don't just come over here and work on the fields. Just don't fall for that. We're over here fighting for rights. Join us. We'll help you and stuff. But all the extra stuff is pretty interesting. But Cesar Chavez supposedly kept a lot of money that he gathered from people and kept it for himself or whatever. That was always been the rumor. And you could see in all these documents that were released of what people are reading. Chavez refused to answer any questions by the credit bureau. He has openly called a communist at Delano City Council. However, does not pose any information. You could see whatever they got black out right there. The FBI was watching him. One individual claimed that the word would refer to revolt. So you could see Huelga means strike. It says right there, Huelga. See, it's like Huelga means strike. That's funny. But Cesar Chavez told him it means more to Mexican farm workers. The picture shows that Delano's, that Dolores holding up the sign Huelga, stated to have been told that it means to the farm workers. Something that's blacked out said one individual told him that the word means revolt. To some Mexican Americans, leave the place and get out, it means. It says, until brief, Barrow translator clarifies that Spanish speakers wouldn't use specific terms to suggest revolution. Again, Huelga simply means strike or to leave the place vacant. What do you think about that? What do you think about Cesar Chavez being under investigation and keeping people's money? I mean, that's something that people's always been talked about. But have you ever seen the documents that damn, but why is this in my way? Shitty bang bang. That's bullshit. Other than that, Chicanos, tell me what you think about Cesar Chavez. Is he a hero to you or not? Do you believe that he kept money that he collected for whatever, the movement of what he said he was going to use it for to help the people? This is all the documents. J. Edgar Hoover, watching them in the 60s, FBI's involvement. You could see right here, J. Edgar Hoover. It says, these communications highlight a degree into which all were behold the agenda of communism, picket regime. So they called him a communist all the time. Which a communist is somebody who doesn't believe in private industry. Other than that, always leave your thoughts and comment. Peace out.